friends, in Python tutorial for beginner series. In this video tutorial, I am going to discuss with you how to create and how to use classes and object in Python. Okay, now let's open Python IDE and take this same example for better understanding. So here I am going to create a developer class, and inside this class I am going to give the attributes or variables of this class as name and skill. And then with the help of function, we will print the details of developers. Okay, so in Python, the class is created by using the keyword class and then give the name as you want. In my case, I have given the class name as developer and then this column comes here. Press enter, so you are inside the class. And inside the class, you can define constructor, destructor, member variables and member functions. If you know Java, C++ or some other OOPS related programming language, you can understand what is constructor or destructor. Constructor is normally used to initialize member variables. It is a special type of function that is called automatically whenever an object of that class is created. So to define a constructor, you just write def and then you give double underscore, then init, init, then again double underscore and give the brackets and give colon. So always remember, you cannot give any other name to the constructor. This double underscore init double underscore is reserved for constructor. Okay. And inside the brackets, whenever we use functions inside a class, the first argument we need to give to the function is a keyword called self. This keyword self points to the class itself. So whenever we create an instance or object of a class, then this keyword self point to the object of that class. I will show you later in this video how to create an instance or object of a class. Okay, so don't forget to give this keyword self as an argument inside every member function of a class, as this keyword self indicates to the instance of a class in Python. Okay, then press enter. And in here, as you can perform any task, so for example, I want to just print you are inside the constructor, object is created. And in the same way, we can use destructor to destroy the instance or object of a class. And destructor is called whenever our instance is out of scope. So to define a destructor, you can just use def keyword as we used for other functions with double underscore and then write del and again double underscore and then just call keyword self inside the brackets and after brackets colon. And in here you can just write the functionality of a code. For example, I want to print you are in destructor function. Our object is destroyed. So this destructor function is also called automatically whenever your class instance is no longer used. Okay, then after destructor, now I am going to create a member functions. For example, first we need to write def and then function name. In my case, function name is setDetails and then we can pass some arguments inside these brackets. And as we discussed, don't forget to add self keyword as first argument. So please add self keyword and then you can pass other arguments, for example, name and skill. And then after brackets, put colon. Okay, so now you can write the functionality of your function. So now I want to set the value of name and skill. So for that I will use the same keyword self to call the first variable which is name and second variable which is skill of the developer class. So here we use a dot separator to call the variables and write self.name is equal to name. And in the same way we can do for second variable skill also. So self.skill is equal to skill. Okay, so what this function is doing is whatever argument you pass here, name and skill, will be passed to the member variable of the class, which is also name and skill. Okay, so after set the details, we are going to create one more member function called print detail to print all details of the developer. So here def keyword again to define functions and then function name print details, and this function will not take any argument other than this self argument. If we will not give self argument here, Python will give error because this self is used as a default. So it will be automatically taken by class. So always remember you have to pass at least self keyword whenever you define a member function in a class. Even if member function does not take any parameter or argument, you need to pass self argument always. Otherwise you will get error. Okay, and in this function we are going to print developer name and skills. So in order to print, we need to call member variable of a class. We need to use self, which indicates that it's a member of a class. So always use self, and we are going to print as self.name, which holds the name of the developer. And then we can just give a little space and string is good in, and then you can write self.skill, which holds the value of skill. Okay, so this is a complete definition of class. Just remember, whenever you want to end the class or come out from the class, you need to start new line from the starting. You need to remove the indentation or space. So when you start with no indentation here, then you are in new line and you are outside the class. Okay, now we need to create an object of the class, or I can say instance of the class. So in order to create an object or instance of the class, we need to just define the object name first. For example, here I am giving developer1 and then is equal to name of the class, which is developer, and then these brackets. Okay, so this line of code creates the object of the developer class, and the object name I have given as developer1. Now our object is created. With the help of this object, we can use the member functions of a class. So in order to access the member functions of the class, we can first write the object name of the class, then dot separator, and then we can see here there are two member functions. setDetail and printDetail functions are displaying in the list. And then we can see here there are two member functions, setDetail, printDetail function, which are displaying in the list. Okay, so these two are the member functions of a class. So here I am going to take setDetail function, and inside the brackets I am going to set the value of name and skill. For example, Gaurav is the name of developer1 and Python is the skill of Gaurav, which is developer1. And please make a note of that this self keyword is no need to mention here again. It is used as a default, so it will be automatically taken care by class. And these two important arguments which you need to pass. Okay, so it means you need to pass other arguments except for this self argument. Self argument is automatically taken care by the class. This self keyword is pointing to this developer1, which is the object of a class. And whenever we create object, it will assign the developer1 here at the place of self, and then it will set as a developer1.name and developer1.skill. Okay, so the value of the name and skill of developer1 is set. Now we need to print these values. So in order to print these values, name and skill, we need to again use the instance or object of the class, and then dot separator, and then we can call second function of a class called printDetail, which takes no argument. Right, and in the end, I want to destroy object as it is not going to be used longer. So as I told, destructor is also called automatically, but I am not sure how much time Python will take to destroy my current object developer1. Actually, it is also depend on it may destroy when memory is required. So better I am going to call destructor here explicitly. In order to call, you can use the instance of a class, then dot separator, then double underscore del double underscore. Okay, now save this program and run it. It will display three messages. First one is you are inside the constructor, object is created. And second one is Gaurav is good in Python. And third one is you are in destructor, object is destroyed. Okay, so this first message is coming because whenever you create the instance or object of a class, as we are creating the object of a class here, this constructor init member function is called immediately and automatically. You don't need to explicitly call the constructor of a class. You can also see we haven't called init member function. It explicitly printing first you are in constructor, object is created. So it means as soon as you create this object of a class, this member function is called. After that, second message is Gaurav is good in Python. Because we are setting Gaurav and Python value in setDetail function, and same values we are printing using printDetail functions. Okay, and then in the end we call destructor. So it will print this message our object is destroyed. Okay, so always remember, keyword self is always an first argument and then give your rest of the arguments. Whenever you define member function in a class, and if no argument in the member function, then you always pass at least one argument, which is self. Okay. And another point to remember is that it is not compulsory that you cannot pass any argument with this initialization in constructor. You can pass any number of arguments. For example, I can pass age of a developer as an argument here. And then inside the function, I can just write self.age is equal to age. Okay, so whenever you give this argument in the initialization here in constructor, then whenever you create the instance, you need to pass that argument here. So we are creating the instance of a class here. So we need to pass age value as 35 here in the initialization. We are passing only one argument because this initialization in constructor takes only one argument, which is age. Okay, and then I can call this age member variable in my print detail function. So for example, I will just change my sentence here. First, I will write self.name, comma, then I will mention here self age, then string years old is good in, then I will call self.skill variable. Okay, just save this program and run it. It prints Gaurav 35 years old is good in Python. Okay, so in this way we can use and create classes in Python. I hope you understand the concept of constructors, destructors, member variables and member functions in Python. I hope you like this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.